You're listening to 101 with Tommie Zam. On the 58th episode, we sit down with Oscar Jordan for round 2, talking about skateboarding and life. Let's do this. What's up, OJ? How you doing?
Chilling, man. You already know, man. Same old shit, different day.
I hear you, man. Hey, it's round 2, the TKO knockout round, dude.
Yeah, boy.
You ready to do this?
I'm always ready. I'm born ready, man.
All right, let's knock these fools out with these questions and answers, man.
Let's get into it, man. Knock out these questions.
Hell yeah. So going back, because you know what, I'm gonna let the viewers know that we did a round 1, and you can go back in previous watch. I think it was like episode 50 something. I can't remember the exact fifth episode, but you can go back and check it out. But when we left the last episode, we were talking about the Steve Barra incident and stuff, and I noticed that some people reposted that that was a back of a Thrasher thing of you and Steve Barra fighting and stuff like that. So
yeah, that was it. It was actually in Slap. Yeah.
Oh, Slap. That's what it was. Slap. Sorry, I thought it was Thrasher. My bad. It's on that one. But yeah,
Lance Dawes actually took the photo too. It was in Slap, and it was a double-page photo in Slap. And we talked about it a little bit. I mean, and then someone recently posted about it again. It was funny. I mean, I think you had posted a picture of it, and then Clyde went and posted it and tried to like make his own twist of the story or something like that, which was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But no, it's the whole premise of that was me being the youngest dude in the game at the time, and I was going through some bullying, and people didn't really know where I came from. They were kind of underestimating, you know what I mean? Oh, he's from San Diego. They're thinking, you know what I mean? I'm probably from like PB or the nice part of San Diego, but you know what I'm saying? I had some shit going on at the time. And I was like in 9th grade when that happened. When I started on Familia, I think I was almost my son's age. I was 15 years old, and he was 18 or 19 years old. He's 18 years old, so he's 3 years older than me. So, I mean, if you want to twist the story anyway, it's him getting beat up. Being an 18-year-old getting beat up by a 15-year-old would be the best way to look at it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and yeah, I mean, I went through some stuff at a previous contest a couple months earlier down in Texas where I had like people focus my board. It was like because I was supposed to ride it for World Industries at one point and I didn't. I ended up passing up that and passing up possibly being an AM for Plan B to turn pro for McGill. And I got vibed for that. People thought that, you know what I mean? I just thought I was, you know what I mean? Thought I was like better, thinking I was better than I was or something. I don't know what they thought, but that was me actually having to turn pro just because I was homeless. Like my family was homeless at the time. Like before I could even finish high school, my mom got sent off to jail. I was living with my grandma. And she ended up getting signed up for Section 8. She's on welfare and everything and got signed up. There's me, my little sister. My uncle had just passed away. And then my brother was in and out of jail, living with my grandmother in like this super small-ass 1-bedroom apartment. So it was at the point where, you know what I mean, I was like, she was just trying to get me to stay in school so I could join the military or go off to school or do something. And skateboarding came along. And right when all that happened, you know what I mean? That's when I had just gotten on McGill and just started getting paid and shit. And I went traveling around. I'm traveling around by myself to contests as a little kid. And motherfuckers, it just shows you how lame the industry was that like dudes would pick on a kid just because I was small, thinking that they could get away with it. Because one time I let people get away with it. I was down in Texas by myself in Houston and shit. And like all the world dudes, like Jordan Richter, fucking like Rick Howard, Mike Carroll, all of them start fucking with me. I left my board out like or somewhere, and it focused it. And Bo Turner ran up on me trying to fight me, and like that's the first time I ever backed down for a fight. So I had that fucking sticking in my head. I'm like, dude, I'm not used to like backing down from fights, dude. I'm from East Dago. Like, I'm fucking like, you know what I mean, certified young fucking gangster. Like, I'm not used to this at all. So I had it out for him. I knew there was going to be contests back in San Diego, and I'm just hoping to see some of these guys show up around my way so I can show them, you know what I mean, my neck of the woods. And so that was Encinitas contest or whatever. I showed up with a chip on my shoulder. So contrary to what Sal or Clive, what's his face, wants to say, that two kids that didn't want to fight getting in a fight, I wouldn't have started the fucking fight if I didn't want to fight them. The minute I heard them talking shit and getting smart and fucking getting lippy, he was the first victim. And I admit it, dude. I went to that contest looking to fucking let people know that I'm not fucking around, dude.
Yeah.
And, you know what I mean? And whatever. That wasn't like my fucking dirtiest fight or whatever. That's probably the fucking most G-rated fight I've ever been in. But there's been a whole lot after that. And they were not that fucking funny. I'll tell you that much. And I'm not trying to sell wolf tickets or nothing. It's just people like to like comment and like, it was cool that you ran the photo. I don't like that like Clyde or whoever else wanted to like jump on the bandwagon and run it and try to twist the story. I don't know if he was just clout chasing, trying to like, you know what I mean, dick up to Steve Barra or what he's trying to do. But good luck on that one. You know what I'm saying? But it just looked kind of funny the way he tried to like twist it. You know.
And do you think the industry, you know, like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm just but from what you're telling me, what you told me in round one and what you tell me now, do you feel the industry still looks at you that same way, or do you think they respect you?
I've never really looked inside the industry to like give it much thought. I mean, I'm kind of like, I've turned my back to the industry years ago. That's why I started Juice Boards. I figured, you know what I mean? Let me just start my own bubble, my own little vortex. That way I can just fucking survive in that for good. You know what I mean? And I don't have to worry. That way I don't even really have to worry about what's going on in the industry. I kind of like how what these young kids are doing and how they're not even into the gossip. It's a lot of the old guys that are fucking shouldn't even be on Instagram that are on there talking shit and trying to keep people from prospering in their little social circles and bullshit and whatnot. You know what I mean? All they're trying to do is get on there and affect other people's opportunities. They get mad if they see that you're doing a little board situation, or maybe you want to try to get a job with a company or some shit like that. And they'll go and bring up some dumb shit from the past that they don't even know about or something to try to make you look bad. People just want something to talk about. And they, you know what I mean? I've never really, you know what I mean? I know what I've done or whatnot. And I know that, you know what I mean? A lot has been overlooked and whatnot. But I mean, I know my body of work. And anybody that means anything to me, they also know that. So that's the way I look at it.
Oh yeah, that's true, man. I mean, you shouldn't, you know, honestly, the industry is people who I call is the cool guy club. You know what I mean? If you're not part of this club, then
it's like you got to have like
talk shit about you. You know,
you have to have a certain amount of followers, or like I've people that like I've helped out and that I've grown up skating with, homies with, have sponsored and shit that don't even, you know what I mean, don't even talk to me anymore. Just because, I mean, if I see them in person, they'll act like I'm my best friend. But like, if I like, you know what I mean, bust a comment on our shit or say something or whatever, they won't respond and they don't follow me or anything like that. Most of my followers are real fans. All of my followers are real fans and customers. And that's how I prefer to do it. I just stay out of the industry and stay in my bubble and deal with whoever's fucking with me. I don't go and buy extra followers or anything like that. If you find me, it's because maybe you know my skating, or you just see one of my boards and think it's dope. And that's how I want my work to do. I want my work to speak for itself. I've never, like, even choosing brands to ride for in the past, I've never wanted my brand to represent me. I've always wanted to be a representative of myself. That's why I should have started my own board brand years ago. Because, I mean, I never really agreed with the presentation of, you know what I mean, how skateboarding and whatnot, the whole traditions of it. It just didn't really like make any type of usable sense to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know what you mean, man. Because I mean, it's sad to think that the people that you have personally helped out, with skateboarding and sponsor them and get them where they're at now, to not show you the respect that they wouldn't be there without OJ or what OJ has done. They don't show you that respect, and that's fucking sad of them.
Yeah, but I mean, I mean, I'm not the only person that's happened to. You know what I mean? And I don't have any kind of sourness towards it. I mean, I'm just so stoked that I'm actually able to do whatever I can. I mean, still on a skateboard and try to operate this small ass brand and shit, and just, I mean, the fact that I'm even still here is fucking just a gift to me in its own. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you're still killing it, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's a lot of people that they're probably making good money doing something that they don't like doing, and that's a lot of dudes that you see getting online talking shit and shit like that. And just having something that you're in love with that you want to do, whether it's music, whether it's skateboarding, whether whatever it is, even kicking a soccer ball around, just. It helps you revolve, you know what I'm saying? And you live longer that way. It's just life, instead of doing something where you don't feel like you're alive for fucking 10 hours every fucking day, which adds up to like 80 hours,
80
where
hours.
Like you feel like, in a week where you're just fucking, you feel like insane, like you're not even a person. So just noting that I'm doing what I feel like I'm put here to do. You know what I'm saying? It just feels good to me. I love teaching people how to skate. You know what I mean? That's what I've been doing a lot of. I love skateboarding. You know what I mean? It's nothing else I'd rather be doing. I mean, yeah. I'd love to become a coach and whatnot. And I think skateboarding, the way it's going, as far as how these guys are getting in such good shape right now, it should be treated like any other sports genre. I mean, because let's face it, that's what it is. Mm-hmm. And these guys are taking themselves seriously and whatnot. And in any other sport, who are you going to look to for guidance? Who are you going to look to as far as, enhancing your technique and doing it the right way? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For guys that have experience, guys that have actually done it, instead of some guys that didn't planted there just because he's friends with someone and he, got in with one of the judges or work, you know what I mean? And they're not really doing anything to give skateboarders a life after actual competition or being a top pro or anything like that. So that becomes depressing for a lot of these skaters, not just me. A lot of people, in the back of their mind, it eats away at them, because I'm not the only guy that would be kind of stoked to be like, hey, I can go and coach for one of these teams. And, you know what I mean? A lot of these athletes and skateboarders or whatever, even video part coaching. I had, when I did tactical manual, I'm just going to ease into talking about that. Yeah. I had a video part coach for that.
Really?
I was 28, and you know who it was?
Who?
He was, dude, the guy was 10 years younger than me. It was Matt Brody.
No way.
Matt Brody. Matt Brody coached me through my whole part. People didn't even know that, but like at the time, if you knew me, like every day, anytime you see me, I'd have my filmer pick me up, and then we drive all the way out to Bonita to pick Matt Brody up. No matter where we were going, we going to Orange County, we're going to LA, no matter what. For some reason, he was like my good luck charm. And he would just, because anytime you bring him to a spot, he had like this crazy spot list where he would show up and he would just nail whatever trick he wanted to get on film. He was like a Tom Penny. As long as he wasn't around a public eye, the guy would just do his shit like within 2 or 3 tries. And then he'd be done. He'd just be done sitting down like, all right, what you got? What are you going to do? He puts you on the spot, dude. Like, you're like, what? And he'd just be sitting there laughing at you like, come on. And then that turned into him coaching me through all these tricks and shit. So, like, he was supposed to have my part. My part was his part in tactical manual. He was scheduled to have that part. And Steve, he kept talking to Salentani about giving me a part. Steve thought I was too washed up and old to have a part.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and so my buddy Chris Sheets started filming me. This guy, he was like filming for like Stephen Baldwin's company, Reliance.
Uh-huh.
Like he's like this Christian dude. He's super cool, dude. I love him, dude. Shout out to Chris Sheets. I'm still buddies with him to this day. But like, he was starting a little video magazine called Blend, and he was filming me and Rodney Jones, Dane Brummett. We were like his little crew.
I remember Blend. I remember.
Yeah. We were like his guys for that. So we were going around, and then I got Matt Brody in on those little missions as well. And he was stoked. I mean, because no matter where we took him, like he would set it off. And it would always just be a fucking just bangers that no one could fuck with. And then you had to produce something. So Matt became a necessity for me. And he just was a fan of mine, man. And he's like, dude, he just told me, he's like, dude, I want you to like put all you have in the filming. I know you're doing that blend shit, but because I was starting to get on some big, and I was skating the biggest handrails I ever skated in my life at 28. Like
that was like what? That was like early.
It was like 2002.
2002, yeah.
2002, 2001. I'm getting on like these 17 stair rails and shit. All of a sudden, Salentani calls me up, and he's like, "Yeah, man, I hear you busting all this shit." And I'm like, "Oh, I thought I was washed up." He's like, "Ha ha ha ha." And then like he put me on a little program and shit where I was getting paid to film the part and whatnot too. So that gave me a little extra bump. It was like I was already on the Cyrus Flow team or whatever. They were hooking me up really good. Mm-hmm. And then that gave me a little bit more even. So I was able to live and stuff and film that part. But yeah, man, every day, like, yeah, I had Matt Brody, like, yeah, look at these spots. And what do you think I think you can do this here, this there, like that fucking, and then I had one, I'm like, the only thing that like I shot Matt with that he did not think I could do was my opening line. And that was his school.
Where was that again?
It was like Woodman High. I think it was Woodman School. It was like way deep out in Southeast somewhere in the cuts. And yeah, it was Woodman. But that's when I nollie front heel over the trash can. And then
that was the cleanest nollie front heel over the trash can, dude. I remember that part.
He was like, there's no way you're going to get one of those over that can. I'm like, dude, I got him, bro. He's like, nah, man. Because I did the 55-0 shove. And he's like, yeah, that's a good single to throw in with your 55-0 kickflip. He goes, you just put those in at the same time. I'm like, no, dude, you don't understand, bro. Like, I'm doing a fucking line. He's like, what? There's nothing else here to fucking hit before that. And I went and grabbed this trash can. I'm like, he's like, what do you think you're going to get over that? And I told him, he's like, you thought I was joking. And that line took me like 4 tries.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. And like I had been doing those on the low like a bunch, but like no one had seen me do any flip tricks like that at all yet. And so yeah, that shit went down. But like, I mean, I fucking put my fucking dude, that was the most blood I've ever shed, even more than my first video part, that deadbolt part, like that tactical manual part.
That technical manual part was sick, dude. I do remember that video. I totally forgot about that one, man. That was definitely I will say that hands down one of your best parts. I will say that.
I think it was my best part, to tell you the truth. Mm-hmm. To tell you the truth, there was a lot of shit too that I did in there that I knew I'd never do again, like that I normally didn't do, like nollie flipping down. I mean, I had a good variety because there's a whole bunch of rail shit, but then like. I wasn't a stair guy, but I had a nollie flip down Korea. And like it was like
that was sick.
My only critique about it is that back then the videos were edited too fast. So like there's a lot that just went by so fast that was gnarly. Like the one, like even like, and then like I got that my favorite part about that video is that I got to work with my all-time favorite filmer, Peter Jimenez.
No way.
Like, he's like the best dude. He was like
nicest guy.
He literally could think for me. Like he would take me to a rail spot or whatever, and like all the spots he took me to were spots where like he took Reeves and Reeves didn't get something. So he's like, all right, Reeves never wanted to come back here. I'm gonna take Juice. And so that's why Reeves kind of had a sour taste towards me too.
Really? I didn't know that.
I was one up him, but like it was Pete. He was filming both of us, and Pete's like, if you're not going to fuck with this, I know Oscar will. And like, when remember I tried to nose slide that church rail
Yeah, I
and
remember that.
knocked out. Pete filmed that shit. And like that was the only time I didn't come through for him, but he was still stoked because he got the slam, because the slam was so fucking funny that he was like, dude, it's all good. But like it was everything I did with Pete, it was almost first try. He would just be like, it was crazy. He's like, dude, this is the perfect rail for you. This is the perfect trick for you. I know you fucking got this. And like, I literally, for some reason, dude, I always trusted him with spots, and just like, because I skated with Pete back like when I was in like 7th grade, like before I even got sponsored, like right when I first started. I went to PB Middle for a little bit, and that's where I first.
You talking about PB Middle, where the little bank was in the fence that everybody used to do skating, do a little flat ground and stuff.
Dude, you know what's crazy? Me, Peter Jimenez, Stephen Bailey, I don't know if you know him, he's a legend, and Peter Hewitt all went to PB Middle School at the same time.
Wow.
Yeah, dude. And then like, and so like there was like all these backyard pools popping up in PB, and like all them dudes were like filming for the glowing video and shit. And so there, one of the dudes or whatever, this guy Jim, he rode for Toxic. He was like the low key like competitor to Matt Hensley and shit, like underground SD dog. And so he lived like right behind the school where he had a mini ramp and shit. And like anytime them dudes would show up, like Alfonso, Jason Rogers, and all them dudes would be out, and they'd go either hit that ramp or hit one of the pools. Everyone from school would come get me. I was like the Grom representative. Where they're like, go get in there and show up the big dogs for us. And that was Pete. Pete would be like, come on. Pete and his kid, Charles Sias or whatever. They would always be like, come on, dude. Get over here, dude. Fucking get in there and skate those motherfuckers. Show them what up. And shit. And that shit pushed me to fucking, to progress a lot too.
Yeah, I mean, when I moved here, when I moved to San Diego in like 95, 96, and I didn't know anybody out here, and I had a cousin that lived out here, so I walked down to Pack Drive, and I didn't know Pack Drive was there, but I remember seeing Pack Drive back in 401 when Sal walked through there, did an intro, but I remember walking in there, and Elliot and Pete took me under their wings and got me introduced to everybody. So that's how I remember Elliot and Pete a lot.
Yeah, you showed up when it was still a hot spot. Back then, it was the only hot spot too. Yeah. So like, even if you live like up here in North County, you try to get down there to hang out as much as you could, just so you could see Jamie Thomas and Rob Dyrdek.
Yeah, PB was a hot spot back in the day, man.
Well, the whole industry lived basically. I mean, just because. I mean, it was much smaller. So I mean, even back then, you had like everybody pretty much that was a reputable pro lived in PB at one time, at one point. Like when they were filming for Welcome to Hell, and then you had the alien guys, like everybody. It was like evolved around PB. And then our house, me and Kenta.
Oh yeah, I remember that house.
Kenta rode for Focus. So then we'd have all the Huntington Beach Hassoy guys down like fucking weekly. Like it was almost like they lived in PB. They were like fucking it was like just a giant party metropolis of like OB, Orange County, Pacific Beach, and every pro that's like getting in the Transworld magazine. Yep. And like you had to go to Pacific Drive to hook up with photographers to get in the Transworld at one point. That was the only place you could meet anyone. And it got so live there that even if you didn't have an appointment to meet up with a photographer, you could go there and just link up with one. There would be someone's, because you'd see Skin Phillips or like any one of them dudes. It would just be lurking like, hey, who's gonna pop up? Yeah, and that's why most of them photos were in PB or Sarah High School. That was like the only place people would like leave to go to. But all those like PB spots and all that stuff, that was all so brand new that, you know what I mean, it didn't seem boring at the time.
No, especially the PB Middle with the two small hubbas on the side that Muska killed, dude.
Man. Even like before that, like that school is significant to me because that's like where I learned how to skate handrails at. Like those blue rails, Those are the first rails I ever got on. And
dude, those rails were big too.
No, those blue ones that are in the corner, they're pretty low, but they were like just doing 10 down rails.
Yeah, I know which ones you're talking about now. I remember now.
Yeah, those ones. Like that's like, I mean, and you're not, I mean, I can't believe no one ever like reconstructed that spot. That's like the most perfect setup for like a tech rail.
Dude, they changed it. PB middle is not the same anymore. They changed
but
that.
I just can't believe that nobody's ever duplicated that and thought about that. Like that was the funnest spot, I think, as far as handrails goes of all time. Mm-hmm. Like we would just go and skate those things like without filming. Like I did that for years before I even filmed the trick down them. That we lived in Southeast Dago and we would catch the bus we would ride probably 10 buses all the way across town just to skate those rails.
Damn, that's sick.
That's how fun that's how fun they were because they're like low and they're in a corner and whatnot. And like, man, I seen some crazy shit go down. I remember like just like filming for when they were filming from Welcome to Hell, dude. There's fucking probably like
so much TV footage in there.
Yeah, but there'd be like 40 or 50 of us there at one time. Because there's so many different hits in that school and shit. And like I remember skating with Alyssa Steamer for like 4 days before I realized it was a girl.
Really?
Yeah, because dude, like she's so fucking good. Like I show up and I'm like, dude, I'm like this Grom all fucking doped out, like dope as fuck, skating like LeVar, like have like a sick LeVar McBride style. And like I'm like, there's no way that's I didn't even have a thought. I just thought it was she's just like a skinny young white kid Grom. Busting nollie tail slide fakies down the rail and shit every time. Buttery as fuck. And like just cause she was just hanging out with all the dudes. So she'd be like, yo, what up? Like, I didn't even get I was a girl until Muska kind of hit on her a little bit. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing, fool? And he's like, oh, foolish, that's a girl. Fool. Like, I felt so bad. And it had nothing to do with her looks. It was because she was just her style. It was
the way she skated.
Yeah, it was a compliment. And like just like so much board control. And like I felt it was out, you were a threat because you're a kid. I'm like, dude, this little kid is gonna be better, is like already almost better than me. Like that was the only thing I'm like looking at it as, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And see, I'm gonna tell the viewers like what PB is. PB is basically Pacific Beach in San Diego. And that time with me and OJ are talking about it, PB was like huge. You had the Alien Workshop house up on Haynes, then you had the Toy Machine house up on Mission Boulevard.
Yes. Welcome to Hell Toy Machine video era.
Yeah, and
then Muska and everyone's just in Dirtic, and all of them are fighting for the Carlsbad Gap cover, like that whole era.
Yeah, and then I had my own house, the porch right there on was it Ingram? Not Ingram.
By Dairy Queen.
Behind Dairy Queen on Mission. So I mean, it was basically like a big skate industry / party area. Then you had Mission Beach, where you had the Hamels led bumps over there that everybody went to on Sundays and just jammed out and skated the bumps down there.
Oh yeah, classic. That was fucking. I mean that place was always, even from the 80s, that was like, you know, I mean, the go-to stomping grounds for like any big time, like, you know, I mean, pro that's like in the party scene, especially. You end up living down there in Mission. Yeah. Shout out to Gary Navarrete. He was the only person
holding it down.
He's holding down the fort as we speak.
Yep.
You get out there and see him like in any given moment. Like,
he's still holding.
Like you can't even find Smollett, but you can find Navarrete.
Yep, Smollett can pop up here and there.
Yeah, and we need to. Hey, I'd rather talk about Smollett actually.
Yeah,
that's another. I mean, because he's one of my best friends, and like, I'm sure people are wondering about him and shit too. And he definitely needs to be talked about because, like, and just the way we met and stuff, I think is really funny.
Well,
really
tell me how you guys met.
Well, we were. I was riding for Chapter 7, and Mike McGill was like, "Yeah, I just put this kid on." I'm like, "Wait, what? You put this kid on?" Because like. he did anything. It wasn't like a spoken thing, but he never put anyone on the team without me seeing their video and like giving the green light. But he just green lighted Smollett without telling me or Kenton or anyone. And we had never even heard of him. I'm like, dude, who the fuck is Peter Smollett? I've never heard of him. I've asked around. Nobody knew who he was at all. Dude, all right, I guess we'll meet him. So we drive out to Claremont. We pick him up in Claremont and shit. And he's just this fucking nerdy ass looking white kid.
Blonde hair.
He's like Coke bottle sunglasses. He didn't even have blonde hair yet.
Oh, you didn't?
It was like kind of like dirt. Like, I don't know, he had a hat on, but like he looked like he could have been on the spectrum kind of because he had like these super thick ass glasses. and then like he had this crazy fucking accent. I like thought, I'm like, dude, has he got like ADHD, autism or some shit? Because like at first I couldn't understand what he's saying. I'm like, are you from the South or what? And he stopped talking because like he got nervous because like everyone was just tripping on his accent. Like, but he was ghetto as fuck. People don't realize, and I didn't realize it until I met him, like how fucking ghetto Claremont can get. There's like pockets and there's like different parts of Claremont. The deeper you get in there, the more ghetto it gets. Mm-hmm. And that's what it was. Like, I mean, that's like one of the first places where they started manufacturing crystal meth. And then like it even back then, like a whole lot of ghetto families from Southeast would get gentrified over there because of the Section 8 housing. They accept it in Claremont. So it was like, even back then you had some ghetto motherfuckers over there. So that I'm like, dude, he's just kind of hood, dude. Like, that's the fucking accent. Because he'd be like, oh, don't. All right, well, really don't. All right, yeah, all right, don't. And like, and it was so bad that look, the fast forward to when we both got on Etnies, Steve Black, the Etnies team manager, was like, dude, Peter is black. I swear to God, he's not white. He goes, dude, what is he saying? I need you to translate. He's like, I swear to God. And then like a couple trips he went on, I swear they'd just be like, dude, Oscar, translate. I was the only one that can understand him. So like, when I met him, I didn't like him at all. And we ended up doing a road trip to fucking Texas, and he didn't talk to anybody. It was me, him, Matt Rodriguez. I was with all these hams and shit, and I just went. They had to skate in a contest. Pete fucking blew it, got last, didn't talk to anyone, came back, same thing. I'm like, dude, why is this fucking dude on the team? Then I started getting kind of verbal about it, asking Mike, and all of a sudden, Dave Schlossbach was always like my mentor and shit. And Dave's like, yeah, I'm working with this kid, Pete. Fucking been filming some shit of him. I'm like, who, Pete? Peter Smollett? The kid that he goes, yeah, he rides for you. I'm like, dude, that kid ain't good. And he's like, yeah, if you want to think that. He didn't say anything. He's like, if that's what you want to think. I'm like, what the fuck? And then he ended up, I remember Dave was like, yeah, it's funny because he said the same thing about you. So we had like bad blood and shit, and we were on the same team. I'm like, dude, fuck that motherfucker. And so I'm skating, and so Dave's like, yo, meet me at this, it was like this double-sided curb ledge thing at Goodwill over on Midway. And he's like, yeah, Brian Lottie's going to meet up with us and shit. We're going to film some shit. And at that time, Dave was like talking about doing a company through World where it was going to be his company. He's going to have me, Kenton, Jason Dill, Gino Inuch, all the people that he's filming, he wanted to put on or whatever to start a new World team. And it almost happened. And that's
that would have been a sick team.
All this was of us skating together.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, I'm like, I was just kind of find out or whatever. But Pete fucking pulls up on one of my boards with the graphics fucking, he painted over it. You could see my graphic under it, and then he crossed it out and painted Peter Smollett bro model. Fucking graphic. I'm like, I fucking hate this dude. Fuck you, dude. And he pulls up and just annihilates the fucking crap out of this spot. I did not see any of this shit coming. And like these were combos that like I didn't even know I can't even tell you what he was doing. Like, you know how Pete was back then and how Pete can get with the fucking how naturally fucking he's literally got like, I don't sound like cliche, but like Tony Hawk fucking like ability, like type talent. Where he can turn a mistake into a masterpiece. Like, and like you won't even know it. And that's what makes him so fucking good. And like it was so gnarly. Like I remember Lottie was getting into something and then Pete just starts rifling off all these fucking tricks, doing them like fucking like every time. Just multiples. Dave it was like a secret weapon. Lottie said, nicest guy on the planet. Always there with you talking. I've skated shitloads of spots with him. Dude, since that day, he has never been the same towards me. He fucking gets in his car and bounces. He lived with Sal at the time, and I would go over there like twice a week because me and Sal were close. We'd skate all the time. And so, like, dude, the next time I went over there, Sal was like, dude, he fucking bounced yesterday out of nowhere. He's gone. He took off to like Hawaii. That's when he abandoned skateboarding. He basically he was stressing because like he only had like 3 tricks, but like they were fucking insane. And they ended up in the Plan B video where like they had the blind section.
Yeah, I remember that.
Backside tail slide kickflip out on the ledge. That ledge was outside their house. It was like in the alley in PB outside their house. And it was the cleanest one ever done. I remember him being bummed on it. He was like, this is like me skating on the Planet Earth Now and Later video, a trick on a curb. I'm not happy with that.
Wow.
He's like, man, I'm not producing. He could tell he was just getting bummed on himself. And at the time, I'm like, this guy can't be serious, dude. He's like fucking amazing. One of the, you know what I mean?
One of the best.
I consider one of the best tech skaters ever. And dude, that day, when he saw that with Pete or whatever, he just bounced. And I felt the same way, it was crazy. And so I just sat down and watched the magic happen. I'm like, dude, I cannot fucking believe this. This is fucked up. And then afterwards and shit, we ended up talking and shit and it was crazy. Guess what? The thing that connected us and shit is we had 2 mutual homies. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to this party. He's like, oh shit. We found out we fucking like one of my super close homies had just moved in next door to him and shit.
Oh shit!
And so it was like, damn, we gotta be friends now. We fucking hung out for like that whole weekend, dude. We were in high school and neither one of us went home and like partied fucking for like a good almost 30, like it was like over 48 hours straight. Just ended up in PB and shit. And like, dude, it was crazy. We were like separated at the hip after that. And I'm like, dude, I can't believe we're actually like homies now, dude. I'm like, fuck, when's the next trip? And he goes, for who? And I'm like, what do you mean for who? I'm like, Mike, I'll have him send this somewhere. He goes, oh shit, fool, I just quit yesterday. That's why I painted over that board. I'm like, oh fuck.
So you painted over the whole time you were thinking you painted over because of you.
Yeah, really, he was like, I quit. He's like, I just quit. Like before that session, I just quit. And I needed a board, so I still just put that board together, but I painted over it. And he's like, nah. He's like, he quit for that company, and then that ended up being Voice. Like because like it didn't go through with World, so he started Voice.
I remember that.
Yeah, but like it was crazy, and like it was just weird because like since that moment, like. Me and Pete were fucking the tightest, you know what I mean? As tight as you could get, like, from then on.
Yeah, because Voice, then he left Voice and went to Shorties right after that.
Dude, and the funny thing about that one, too, is, like, I remember, like, because that's when I helped Muska sign this Shorties contract and all that. He had never seen, like, or dealt with any kind of money. He went from being homeless to, like, overnight, like, Shorties fucking sent them this FedEx and this crazy contract. And to fast forward through all that, like when it started, I was still riding for someone. I was either Entity. Yeah, I was still on Entity getting paid. And he was putting the Shorties team together or whatever. And I was on their bolts. And once they started making boards, Entity was like, you can't ride for Shorties hardware. They're making boards. Everyone got all mad at them.
What?
So yeah, but I was still hanging out with Chad, and Chad was like, "Yeah, I get to put my own team together." He goes, "I want to fucking get like just some unknowns or whatever." He goes, "I want just someone that fucking nobody will fucking like or whatever." And he goes, "Dude, I really want Brandon." He didn't even like want Pete at first. I had to talk him into smalling. He
Really?
was like,
He
he wanted Brandon, and we were skating. Me and Kenton had been skating with Brandon because who was like my little cousin, Jamin, he's literally like almost blood to me. He was like, he had just quit skating and started rolling. He was riding for Chapter 7, and out of nowhere, we were gonna drop a video, and he quit skating and started rollerblading.
What?
And so we fucking were so mad at him that Brandon started skating with us. So we started taking Brandon to his spots to do all his tricks. And that became Brandon's voice part. Like all the gaps that Jamin was supposed to huck down, but he got scared and didn't want to do them. Like it was Dave Sloshbach, like just finding all his shit. He's like, "You're young, you're small, jump. This is where skating's going." And Jamin got scared. He just fucking ranked out. So we came across Brandon. The first time I seen him, he like couldn't even ollie up a bench, but like could switch kickflip down Montgomery stairs, 6 stair every time.
Damn,
like,
that 6 stair is nice too, man.
Yeah, and he was like fucking like 5 years old. He was like 5 or 6 years old. And he just is, and you can tell he's a little prodigy. Like he was like, I guess he had been on like a poster with Allen Iverson at the time or whatever, too, and just moved over here from Japan. And like you could just tell there was something special about him. So like he'd be out skating with me and Kenton all the time. And people, you know what I mean, we'd have him at Point Loma, and all the toy machine guys and shit, they ended up seeing him there skating with us. Out of the blue, I'm talking about riders. Here's Muska's plan. He goes, I already put Steve Olson on. The minute I got the green light, like I fucking called Steve Olson and put him on the team 30 seconds later.
Well, Steve Olson's a legend, dude. That dude's sick.
Yeah, he's like, before I even really got on, I knew I wanted Olson on. So he goes, the only other person I want is Brandon Turner. He wanted Brandon to actually be like, even get him in and turn him pro as a kid, probably.
Damn.
And shit, yeah. He goes, because the only person I let them put on that I didn't authorize was Sam Baptista. And he's like, I don't know him or whatever, but he's like, I let him go ahead and slide with that. But I want the kid I put on, I want him to be pro. Damn. But then I told him, I'm like, dude, like you're not gonna get him and fucking Smolik are a package deal. And he's like, yeah, Peter's good, but you know what I mean? He like turned because he had already did a pro board with voice. And so people thought that Peter turned himself pro kind of, which he didn't. Dave did.
Yeah.
And so he's like, people are going to look at him like he's not a real pro. I don't know if I should do it. And I'm like, dude, look at the big picture and look at like his style and just like what you can market him as, dude. You need a gangster ass motherfucker, dude. Like, you know what I mean? And you're fucking down here in Dago too. You got to get the hardest motherfuckers out of Dago on there. That's those two. He's like, agree. Yeah, and he's like, I talked him into that shit. Like he wanted Brandon first, and he wasn't sure about Pete, and it shifted. It was like, wow, Pete is the fucking guy. Like, and he actually probably sold the most boards out of all of them, believe it or not.
Who, Smolik?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, dude. Everybody loved Smolik, man. Like Smolik, that people loved and hated him. What he wanted, you know. That,
and then his graphic too.
Oh yeah.
And like anywhere we go, if Muska was in there, I mean, they'd see him. They're like, is that Muska? Oh, Smolik. Fuck yeah. You know, yeah, I mean, like either way, dude, like they're just fucking hyped on him, dude. The funniest thing though, like, and the most genius thing about Pete, I think my favorite part of his is Guilty, even though most people won't, just because I know what he was doing because I was there with him, partying with him. He like hadn't skated for like 2 years. He's just partying all his Osiris money away. His rock star life with the Federals. You know the deal.
Yep, I know the deal.
And hadn't even touched the skateboard in like over a year and a half.
Yep.
And then out of nowhere just came and just dinged that part. just came and just but like the way it was edited and how gangster it was and shit, I think it was ahead of its time, dude. With the graphic and all that shit in there too.
Yeah. No, definitely it was. I mean, Pete, what people don't understand, Pete, at that time when Guilt Before Guilty came, he barely skated. You know what I mean? You barely saw him on the board, but when he did get on the board, he fucking murdered it.
Mind blowing. Like he
totally
just
murdered it in one day. And then he'll film a whole part basically in one day, and then he won't skate again for another month or whatever, you know?
Yeah, some people just, and it happened to me. I think you get so good at something or whatever, and then you feel like so much is expected of you that it's just hard to like be regular about it and say, oh, let me go and do some grinds and have fun. And you almost gotta like sink to the bottom and not do it for a while and start over again or get hurt or something to rebuild that appreciation. I mean, that's what happened with me.
Really?
I mean, yeah. I mean, once I got right after Tactical Manual or whatever, like 2004, I ended up blowing my knee out. I couldn't skate for like 3 years. And even before I blew my knee out, I just wasn't having fun skating. I'm like, go and do my best 10 tricks and be like, all right, that's it. I was the point to where I didn't want to learn anything else or skate. I don't like, I got planted into like, you know what I mean, what the industry expected. Okay, they want to see flip in, flip out, handrail tricks. That's it. Because they would tell you automatically, like, it's got to be at least 10 stair or it's not going in the video. There's all these standards for like, Tactical Manual and all the videos. Now, I mean, you couldn't like do what you do now. Just be yourself and like, you know what I mean? If it's on a curb, whatever it's on, if it looks cool, we're using it. It wasn't like that. Like back then, that's kind of how I thought. Like, and that's how I skated. I always like I lived downtown and I moved down there so I could skate hills. And I was skating a lot like how people are skating now back then. But like they would ask me to skate a different way for the video because that was how they could market the video. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they didn't want like any long lines or anything like that. And like that's like all I do now. Like that's all I'm in. It's got to be in a line. And you know what I mean? Just I do a trick. They're like, yeah, but the gap wasn't big enough. I'm like, dude, but it was caught perfect and it fucking is clean and it looks good. He's like, we're not really shooting for style. We want to fucking get hammers. And so that whole era, that's what took the fun out of it for a lot of people. You know what I mean?
You think that you're talking about the zero?
Oh, and then it evolved to that too, where and then even with Matt, like I remember going out with Matt Broad and like he had these crazy tricks, and he's like, yeah, he would just do them and not be stoked. He's like, dude, I've done like 100 of them. Fuck, that's all I can do.
I like line skating, dude. I think line skating is more, I get more stoked on line skating than some dude just do a single trick down a handrail. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's rad to see, but I'd rather see someone do like a line and dude go down and jump down a handrail or something.
To me, it doesn't. I mean, back at first it was cool, but like, why is the same kickflip front board, the same grind 10 years later? It's going to be cool. I mean, it's just why would you want to look at skateboarding the same way years later? Like, oh, it's got to be like playing a dart. You got to shoot it and do that. You know what I mean? There's so many like different reasons to appreciate it. It's just like music. You know what I mean? Like, and you know what I mean? Skating different stuff even. Like, why would you want to, even as a skater, why would you want to, I feel the beauty of skateboarding is it's forever evolving. Like, even as a skateboarder, you evolve into an older skateboarder that skates a different way, but you're still skating. That I think is I'm more impressed when I see that in a skater than like the guy that's like, yeah, I'm gonna make sure I'm riding the same 775 board and I can still do the nollie flip with my balding gray hair that I did fucking 20 years ago. I still got it. Yep, flip up crook. Yep. You know what I mean? It's like, no, I personally I used to like to watch the older guys skate when I was younger. Because I'm like, dude, it looks cleaner when they do it. It just looks like they mean it, like they they grind their stuff longer. It looks cleaner, and it looks like they mean their skateboarding. You know what I mean? Like when you see a guy that does a trick and it's hard, but like it's just him doing a trick. I mean, I'm not talking about fake style. I'm just talking about when a guy holds his trick good and it's casually done to where effort is not even an issue, and he doesn't even have to think about the way he's going to land. It just happens naturally, and you know what I mean? You know it's being done because it's being felt. Like that's what I've always looked at in skateboarding. You can tell.
No, I know definitely what you mean. I mean, that's what I did when I was, exactly what you said. I used to watch all these old school skaters, like old vert skaters in Pensacola that skate and stuff like that, because the way they skated was so clean and different. You know what I mean? And that's what I took skateboarding as is the same way too. You just go out there.
No, but besides that, even the imperfection of it was clean. Mm-hmm. Like even like probably my all-time skater, Gino. Like he's not trying to fucking be dope. That's just how he naturally rides his board, and that's how he stands on his board. And half the time, his fucking clips are sketchy, and it makes it look better when his foot comes out. No, but you know what I'm saying? Like he's not the most aesthetically clean skater. Like if you think about it, like his foot comes off, and it makes it look better. Mm-hmm. It's natural. Like two of my favorite street skaters. And they're both from fucking East Coast. It's him and Quim Cardona is always another one. So and it's just so raw. It's just straight from the heart. You can tell he's like I look at skating like because I used to be a break dancer, and I look at it the same way. Like you're just going out, and it's like on some, you know what I mean? You're just expressing you physically. It's physical expression. You know what I'm saying? And like it's what you do in the hood instead of fucking, you know what I mean, gang warfare and whatnot and killing people. That's why they created it, to save the urban youth from violence, from harmful violence, from all the stuff that's happening right now. You know what I mean? People don't have a physical outlet at all, and they don't see the importance of it. And so it's there. The aggression's there. It's human aggression. It's always going to be there. But if it's exercised in a good way, you have something like skateboarding or something else like that you're in there. You know what I mean? You tend to be a lot peaceful as people. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. No, 100%.
Like the average human wants to engage in combat verbally and physically. I mean, more verbally than physically, but it just feels the need to combat to you know what I mean? It's because they feel that aggression inside of them, and that's their way of exercising it. It's almost like pain that they need to get out.
No, definitely. I know what you mean. And to what you're saying is your two favorite East Coast skaters, mine were my one East Coast skater I always have to say was Jamal Williams, and my West Coast would have been Matt Hensley. And I love how they skated.
Dude, Jamal is always something special too, man, to me. Like I remember seeing him for the first time when I went to my first pro contest down in I had never seen him in person. And it was at Shut Up and Skate the first time I went down there. I was like 14. Mm-hmm. And he's the first person I've ever seen do like it was like an over 10-foot long frontside tail slide on a ledge. Just held it forever. This is back in 1990. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, sliding something, especially a tail slide over 10 feet long back then. I mean, it sounds basic, but like nobody did that back then at all.
No, especially in the 90s, man.
No, you did like an ollie tail stall. It like stalled.
That's it.
I mean, or you got like a slappy nose slide. It wasn't that long unless it was down something, but just on a ledge, a good, powerful locked in, and then he fucking popped ollied out. Just the type of skating that you'll see now, and you'd be like, that guy is a fucking skilled pro. Like, that's how he skated back then.
Yeah.
And nobody else had that kind of control yet. It's weird. Like, Guy and him and like, you know what I mean? You had a few other people, like Mike Carroll and shit. But, like, yeah, man, he always definitely stood out.
Yeah, I like his style because it's like what you said. He had that sketch, that not I want to say sketchy style, but it was just that style that, like, stoked me or stoked you. You like, oh, Gino.
It's because he's from Boston, man. That's just why I hate Boston so much, because every skateboarder from Boston is fucking like super as a prodigy. Is like has like abnormally. I mean, you name any of them, and they're a PJ lad.
Yep.
That's it's all of them, dude. There's a bunch of them. There's a bunch like even that. There's a new kid, Joey Hilbert. He's the same thing.
Oh yeah, that dude's insane,
He's
dude.
ridiculous, dude. And they kind of fucking like I don't know if they kind of have a similar like look to them. That Boston fucking look. And they're always fucking kind of dickish, dude. Like they're always because they know they have the best sports teams, the best skateboarders, and they're just like, fuck you, we're fucking better than you, Boston. We're better.
Hold on. Oh, OJ, you gotta have that Boston accent. Fuck you.
Yeah, we're fucking better than everything. Get the fuck out the car. Fuck you. Yeah. Like they just in like it, yeah, I'm fucking.
Wait, hold on. Isn't Rob Wells from Boston too?
Oh, yeah, he was my teammate too. Yeah, and I used to get in with him all the time. Because I'm always rocking my SD, and he's like, "Why are you gonna rock that?" I'm like, "Cause I'm from Dago, motherfucker." He goes, "If I was from San Diego, I'd be a Raiders fan." He would always try to hit on the Chargers and SD. I'm like, dude, I don't give a fuck what you say, dude.
Rob Wells is another good skater too, man, from the East Coast.
Yeah, amazing, dude. Ahead of his time. He rode for Entity with me.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, dude, he's fucking legendary too, man.
Yeah, so definitely is. So one of the questions I want to ask you is skateboarding now. How do you feel about all these people turning pro, but they didn't go through the way that you turned pro? You know what I mean? Like going contests and earning it, but the only way they turn pro is by how many Instagrams or
yeah. It doesn't even at this point, it doesn't even matter. It's almost like better if you don't turn pro. Like the guys like Dylan Jade that try to avoid it, they seem to last the longest. And you can it's weird, man. It doesn't really mean as much. I mean, it's almost like just like a badge, a badge of like being in a club or something more than like you're actually pro. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because most of it, like 90% of the time, the guy's not getting paid anything. Technically, that's what really makes you a pro. So it depends on your situation and who you ride for and whatnot. But you know, a lot of these kids don't even want to ride for board companies. Like you see dudes like Versace Plug in them, and like a lot of kids out there that are like they might come from some money too, so they don't really give a fuck. They just happen to be really good at it, and they just want to do it. They're like, I don't even care. I just want to like post up and fucking drop some steez, dude. I don't really give a fuck. Like when people try to like really hook them up, they don't even care.
Yeah,
and like it's weird, man. Like it's completely different. Like even like the way a lot of these big companies sponsor people, it's like they look for like influencers more than like this guy's terrific on a skateboard. He's amazing. So let's fucking give him a pro model. It just doesn't work that way anymore.
No, there's so many people that are turning pro left and right. I'm like, with me, earning it the way you earned it, or other people earned it. You know,
with my board situation, it's like. You know what I mean? And that's why I don't put my name on my boards. I don't really see the importance of a pro board. And with me, I want the product to sell because the product is fucking great. Straight up. You know what I mean? I just want you where you see the product and it sells itself. You know, like you see my boards and you know, the minute you look at one of my boards, you know, that's a great fucking skateboard without even having anybody else's name attached to it. You know, you see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And because you know people will try to use that against you sometimes too. They'll try to be like, "Oh, Oscar's naming a company after himself," which it isn't. It's just juice. Yeah, it happens to be my nickname, but it was given to me by a special person, Jake Phelps. You know what I'm saying? But it's not like I'm naming it after myself. It's just a name that I like. I think it's basic. And it goes for apparel or boards, just juice. Fuck, juice. You know what I mean? I just like the name. And it's something that doesn't really need an athlete attached to it. Like, oh, okay, this guy, blah, 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 rides for that. It's, you know what I mean? If you're into it, it's because you like the name and you like the way the product works and looks. Mm-hmm. It speaks for itself. And a lot of these companies, they want to, you know what I mean? They want to like create a certain following or get a certain, you know what I mean? It's all because it's all social media driven, and they're going after the young guys. For me, I'm not even going after the young. If some young guys like my stuff, great. I don't even make a board under 8 inches, and I prefer to ride shapes, and so I'm trying to influence a mixture of older 90s shapes with what sizes are current now, because most people like to ride at 8.5 or 8.25.
Some like the old school shapes.
Yeah, why not have those sizes though? A flippable street skatable size with a shape.
Yeah.
And that's what we offer here at Juice Boards. You know what I mean? Like exactly what I didn't see going on in skate shops. It's weird because people told me I was crazy about it. And now you're seeing a lot of other companies doing it now, like jumping on a bandwagon and doing them. You got Primitive even doing them.
Well, the industry is copycat. So if you did something 6 years ago, they're going to claim, oh, we did this year. We started this new thing.
And even the wood shop I dealt with, I was trying to get these shapes made over 10 years ago, and they're telling me I'm crazy. Like, you know what I mean? Why we cut that meat of those boards? No one's going to want that. That's just like a risk. You know, like, fuck, dude, I don't know about that. And now everyone's doing it. And I'm stoked on just how it is right now, because I think a lot of shops are actually hurting skateboard. There's some that aren't, but then there's a lot that are. You know what I mean? Where like they will only buy from like the big companies, and yet the big companies are the ones that can't get boards because they want to buy too many boards. Yeah. And the wood shops would rather sell to smaller companies like us because we're not sucking them dry of their inventory.
You know, OJ, when I had my own skate shop, it was called the Finest Skate Shop in St. Pete. Many years ago, before me and Carl did TSM Media. Yeah. And in my skate shop, I barely carried big brand boards. Always did, like Welcome Skateboards when they first came out, like smaller brands. I did KO stuff like GGK and stuff, Expedition stuff. But I mean, I always carry like smaller brands. I carried Jamal Williams Company, Hops. I carried like a lot of smaller brands because that's where I knew 10 years ago, or when my shop was open for like 10 years, that's where skateboarding was going to go. And everybody made fun of me because they're like, dude, you got Roger Skateboards. Who the fuck is that? Heroin Skateboards. Who's that? You know what I mean? Like I carried all those brands 10 years ago, back in like 2005.
It seems like I'm stoked on it because that's how it was when I started in the 80s. Remember, all the brands were like, it was like how it is now. We're like, you had a couple major, Santa Cruz, Powell, same exact guys that are around them now. And then every other brand wasn't even a real brand. Like even 8th Street was never a real brand. No one even knows that. Like they had an office at one time for like less than a year where it had the mini ramp and shit. But that shit was just like what we're all doing now, just on a computer at someone's house, on a fax machine. Actually, I would go over to my the 8th Street house. And they had the team list was hit up on a fax machine. Yeah, and a typewriter. Yeah, it was typed on a typewriter and then duplicated on a fax machine. And it was the whole team list and everything. And then their whole like, if they sent you a box or whatever, it was just written by hand. And like they didn't have like a structured like business going on. You know what I mean? At all. They had like a investor guy that had a wood shop out in Riverside somewhere. George, he was the Middle Eastern guy. And he would just make the boards wherever, they would get orders in or whatever, but it would take them, they wouldn't fill them right away at all. It was just like how any sketchy situation is now.
Yeah, and that's how we are over at TSM Media. I mean, Carl works out at his house. I work out at my house. Everybody else works everywhere else, out their house. You know what I mean? Like, why do we need to spend the money on a studio or a warehouse or office or anything?
Yeah. I mean, unless you're really pounding out that much fucking, then you got that much inventory and it's moving crazy like that, then oh shit, by all means. But if you don't need to do it, then why?
Exactly. I mean, you're doing it out of your house, and you know what I mean? Like shit, they'll call you up. they'll expect some like salesperson, but it'll be OJ answering the phone. What's up? What do you need? What kind of boards you need? You know?
Exactly. And but the thing is, it works better for them because they end up getting it like they get way faster service that way.
Yeah.
I mean, it means more. And even like with all the big teams having to break down, I mean, I don't know how these guys realistically think that a brand can go and pay fucking 20 dudes to ride for it. And you know, I mean, for years and just pay out all that money, pay employee overhead and rent and have a travel budget tour, you know what I mean? And do all this shit off of selling skateboard decks.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, and let you know, I mean, and have that a big giant team, and it's like, what is the importance of being on a, you know what I mean, on a giant? It makes it not seem as you know what I mean, as special when you're on a giant company team that's like that. Like even with it looks like the whole FA, they got a whole bunch of dudes on that.
They got like 50 dudes.
Yeah, and it looks like it's slowing down. I mean, they're having warehouse. When you see people having warehouse sales, that's not a good sign.
Oh no, it's not.
Yeah, that means they're trying to keep the lights on.
Yeah.
I heard they were throwing boards out for like 2 for $30.
Yeah, but you know, you can't be selling jackets or T-shirts for like $80. You know,
yeah.
A T-shirt for $80. Shit, that better come with a stripper. You know.
Yeah.
You know?
But you know, what I mean, the guard always changes. That's why being at the top like that is the scariest place to be, because you know, what I mean, the guard always changes. Like no matter what,
No,
if you're in it for the long haul, you know what I mean. You find your flow and you find your lane and stay in that. It makes it easier to enjoy, and that's the way I look at it.
Hey, that's how me and Carl look at it too. We're just having fun and love what we're doing, man. We're not in to make money. We don't give a shit, you know. As long as we're helping people like you and these upcoming skaters and you know these musicians and stuff like that. That's what we have fun doing that, you know.
Likewise, but I mean, and that's the good message you guys give. That you know, I mean, you don't have to look at it as like skateboarding or anything else we're all doing as like something that you do just to be in your prime at it. You know, you want to do something you love and do it as long as you can.
Yeah,
your whole life. And I mean, people like musicians and artists. You know what I mean? They find a craft and they do it their whole life. And those types of people are the happiest people that live full lives. You know what I mean? Stress free.
No, I 100% agree. Well, OJ, before we take off, where can people get juice boards at?
So you can hit me up at juiceboards23.bigcartel.com. Or if you want to get a specialized size and shape to your customs, I can even do a little bit of graphic enhancement as far as colorways for you and whatnot. We can chat back and forth about it through my DM at Juiceboards on Instagram. You know what I mean? I got a couple other ones, Juiceboards no capping, but just hit me up. As soon as you throw Juiceboards in there on Instagram, I'm going to pop right up. You know what I mean? We're all about having a good time around here. We like to have fun. We like comedy. So when you go on that Instagram, you're going to see a whole bunch of funny stuff. You can get some good laughs.
Yeah, by the way, I like White People Wednesday. That shit's hilarious.
and all that, Necked Out Monday, we got it for everybody. You know what I mean? That's our whole message. You know what I mean? Is that we're all the same. We're all funny, and we're just looking at human relations and acknowledging cultures, all cultures, and acknowledging the humor and the beauty in all cultures, white, black, Hispanic, and all. You know what I mean? I grew up. My best friends, you know what I mean? My super OG, you know what I mean? Best friends, you know what I mean? Second family, the Marquez family. Steve I. Marquez, rest in peace.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you know what I mean? So I have a lot of deep hearted love for my Latino, my Raza brothers out there. You know what I mean? A lot of it. And it comes straight from the heart. And so, you know what I mean? That being said, you know what I mean? I'm here to just, you know what I mean, block the divide I see going out there. All you see is a lot of hate. When the election time props up, you go on social media and you just see a whole bunch of division being pumped out there. You see people trying to do and put propaganda out there to make people be at each other's throats. And that's the type of shit that just makes the world a chaotic, irrational place, our country in particular. And that seems to be a whole lot of what we see going on right now, especially with social media. So if you want a breath of fresh air from all that, you want to see, things in the true light, how they really are, come fuck with Juice Boards. You know where we're at.
Hell yeah. So you hear that, guys. Go pick up some Juice Boards. If your shop don't have it, go hit up OJ up at Juice Boards. He'll take care of you.
Yeah, that.
All right, OJ. Hey, thank you for round 2. I think you gave some TKOs out there, punched them out a little bit.
I hope I did.
All right, homie. One more thing. What you got coming up for 2023? Anything good for the rest of the year?
Got some board designs and whatnot. I'm gonna try to surprise you guys probably with a little tribute to one of my legends I'm hooking up right now, and having Dave Coyne repping the program for a while.
Oh, David Coyne.
Huge fan of Osiris Dave, you know what I'm saying? Anybody that doesn't know, do your history. The Storm, Maple Black Cat, all that. This cat's got history, man. He's a legend. He's chilling out there, repping out in Columbus, Ohio right now, and he's still ripping hard as fuck. So I'm really, really, really excited about him. I'm going to try to bring a couple of abs onto the program and stuff too. I'm looking at some people. Anybody, you know what I mean, that's got a good style, that's got a good attitude, and some shop connects, holler at me. We'll see what we can do.
And where can people send their sponsor tape to you?
Or just
I don't even know if they do
DM.
that.
I'll look at you. You just slide in the DM. I'll skim through your shit. You know what I mean? That's all you gotta do. Throw me a nod. The minute I see you, I'm gonna look through your shit. It takes me like 5 seconds, man. You know what I mean? Straight up. I got that expert eye. That's all it takes. You don't even need to sponsor me tape. Because I'm gonna make you film this shit rocking some Juice Boards anyways. You gotta go. You got to be kitted up if you repping this shit over here, I'm going to make sure you're suited and booted up properly with proper attire to get shit done right.
Damn, you're rhyming right there. I like that, OJ.
Yeah, that's normal, man.
Well, all right. Well, hey, guys, so make sure if you don't know about round 1, you can check it out on episode 48 of OJ's round 1. And then you can go back and listen to round 2 to get the rest of the TKO punch out of this episode.
Sure.
But OJ, thank you so much, man. It's always a privilege to talk to you and
thank you, man.
Chit chat and stuff like that. But we'll definitely link up on June 21st at Prince Park, man.
I'll be there.
All right, homie. Well, take care. Thank you so much, OJ.
Yeah, likewise, man. Peace.
All right, late.